Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. How did I read this wrong? Okay. What's Dion doing? This isn't supposed to be a regeneration. This is supposed to be a fellowship of freedom. Nobody's going to notice the difference. I'm doing tomorrow's daily reflection here. So we're going to, I set up for the right thing though. All right. So leads us to Bill's, as Bill sees it, page 50, which leads us to AA Comes of Age, page 224. And that is where we're going to go today. AA Comes of Age, page 224. Name of the chapter is called 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. So we'll go ahead and do some other yakking till we get some people here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yes, I've been making clips and stuff lately. I don't know if they're doing very well. What I don't like is it's just like my whole face up in it. Here, I'm going to show it to you. Yeah, I'm not going to play the video or anything. Just, hey, look how big that is compared to that. Like, you can see my face. And then this one gets 115. These only got 45. I think the ones that I did myself were, well, there we go, 169, 131. It's actually working a little bit better. I've been making these reels. I was going live at one point, but see how nobody comments or says anything ever. Oh, I got a love there. Got a heart there. All right, that's good. Got a heart in my heart. Do you want out the window? There you go. Come here, I'll help you. Come here. He's the shy one. He doesn't like being picked up and stuff. He only lets Dad pick him up. Come here. I'll show you. Come here. Okay. Look. He's like, that's not what I wanted, Dad. Not what I wanted. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started here. After I give somebody shit. There we go. All right. A friend of mine, my friend Amber and I, we have a running joke about being wizards. It's from Lord of the Rings, when the beginning of a Fellowship of the Ring, and they're waiting on Gandalf to show up, and he jumps in the cart and says to Gandalf, "You're late." Gandalf says, "A wizard is never late. They arrive precisely when they mean to." So, because I'm always late here, so I pull out my wizard card. All right. But now she isn't here after giving me shit. So now I'm required to give her shit for it. So, all right. Let's get started. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. And we're going to get to the reading. Because I was in a death scroll on Face Tick. Hi, Amber. Good to see you. All right. So I put the wrong title up. It's supposed to be a Fellowship to Freedom, not AA Regeneration. That's tomorrow's. So it's a little off. All right. Oh, he did want to go out there. Good. He needs to get outside a little bit. Okay. So it's kind of weird the way this starts. Because it starts with Bill saying something, and we're like a page and a half into the chapter, so it's just kind of weird. It says, Bill, we stand on the brink of a momentous decision. Is one of our most solemn hours in which this society will ever live, for we are about to confirm its permanent structure. I'm presuming this is the conference in 1955 that they had. Let's go back and read it. St. Louis Convention, yeah. So the 1955 St. Louis Convention. I've already gotten started though, or I would do that, right? So we of AA are apt sometimes to brag of the virtues of our fellowship. Let us remember that none of these are earned virtues. Also, I'm wearing the purple tie-dye one today. Oh, cool. I was going to wear my tie-dye. I was kind of in a hurry, so I just kind of grabbed the first appropriate shirt. But I am going to change to it because it's too hot. In fact, I think I'm going to do that now. I'll be right back. Ah, much better. There we go. All right. How many other places you go where there's a wardrobe change right smack in the middle of it? Yeah, welcome to Daily Trudge, where Dion changes clothes often. I may even run and get a fan at some point. Who knows? All right. But what they're talking about is, yes, AA does do a lot of good for people. Okay, but if we run around and brag about it, yeah, we are an attraction, not promotion. So we have to watch our promoting skills because most alcoholics are promoters. Even the introverted ones. Even the introverted ones, okay? You had to sell yourself in order to get that alcohol. Oh, you're a promoter. Don't worry about it. All right. So let's remember that none of these are earned virtues, right? The first 5 minutes is not the middle of your life. It might be today. Don't threaten me, or I'll end this at 10 minutes just to prove you wrong. Which means I better hurry because I only got 2 minutes left. All right. We've been forced into them. To begin with, by the cruel lash of John Barleycorn. John Barleycorn would be alcohol. We have adopted these attitudes, these practices, this structure, not at first because we wished to, because we had to. Yeah. I promoted my baby shower so hard 75 people came. Okay. I think we're missing a word or something's misspelled, and I don't know how to fix that one in my head. All right. So we came here first because we had to. Um, I'm giving an exasperated sigh because I feel like I say the same things a lot. Nobody came into the program willingly. Well, we came in willingly, begrudgingly willing, but it was an outside force that got us here. Okay. So we had to, if I was to survive and find a joyful life, then I was going to have to conform to the principles, to a certain principles. I had to adopt attitudes, practices, and the structure. I was actually just talking to my therapist about this yesterday. The reason I like AA so much is the structure. I like that I know what's going to happen next for the most part, right? Maybe a comma. Okay. I promoted my baby shower, comma. So hard 75 people. I'm kidding. Okay, I got it. I promoted my baby shower so hard, comma, that 75 people came. Got it. Okay. Right. And then, as time confirmed the seeming rightness of our basic principle, we began to conform because it was right to do so. Some of us, notably myself, conformed even then with reluctance. But at last, I think I have come to the summit here today where we stand, willing to conform permanently and gladly to the principles which experience under the grace of God has taught us. That's another thing that I like about AA. I'm a big fan of the 12 by 12. If you haven't figured that out yet, right? The there's a lot of information on how to not do it in the traditions, on how to not do it. I mean, it's just one long 10 step of them saying, we did it this way. This is why it didn't work. We tried it this way. We tried it that way. Because they know that alcoholics are going to look for these ways. They know what you're going to try and do. They knew this in 1939, and it has not changed to this day. When an alcoholic doesn't find God, they're going to try and fill that big God sized hole in their stomach with money, sex, power, prestige, or anything else that they can get their fucking hands on that makes them feel better for the moment. These are band aids. The problem is we got broken arms, and a band aid ain't going to do it. A band aid is not going to stop the blood from a main artery. Okay? Band aids will not do that. They will suffice for the moment. Okay? So now we're hewing the right principles with the right things. All right? This is the part that I like. It says, to the principles which experience under the grace of God has taught us. Okay. So many of us think that structurally speaking, we are quite unique, but this is not entirely so. Nowadays, it kind of is. I don't know. I don't know too many other programs that work like Alcoholics Anonymous, like staying broke. Alcoholics Anonymous is broke. It is broke at all times. Even grassroots, we have too much money right now. We have too much money. A good problem to have, right? But we haven't really settled into a place where we have figured out what grassroots is to the community. That's why it's kind of sitting there. Till we figure that out as a group, it's going to sit there, right? So, so those are the principles that some principles that we were taught. So many of us think that we are quite unique, not entirely. So our principles of recovery are borrowed, and so are most of our structural ideas. In AA, we can see many of the means by which men and women over the centuries have tried to unite themselves, and each of these techniques of association has its assets and its liabilities. There are more than I know of, but I know that we stole we borrowed from the Washingtonians, we borrowed from the Oxford group, and some of you are not going to like this, but we also borrowed from Christianity. Yeah, we borrowed from the Bible. Yes, we did. 4 and 5 is Catholic confession. 8 and 9 are the penance. Yeah, right. Now we changed it so it could suit what it is that what it's about is you finding your way. You do not need to go sit down with a priest. It's been this long since I've done confession, and you don't need to do anything. No, it's not how we work here. But that is where we took it from. All right. When we first come into AA, we find here, as we observed before, a greater personal freedom than any other society knows. We cannot be compelled to do anything. Yesterday, I was in a meeting. This is the ones that I don't like. If somebody is talking and maybe they forgot to say, my name's Dion, I'm an alcoholic, or maybe they just don't say it, I don't give a fuck. Don't sit there and say, oh, and who are you? And you got to say you're an alcoholic. No, you do not. No, you don't. Nowhere in the big book does it say that you have to do that. That's just what you want because you do it. Because you used to do that, and now it bugs you when you see other people do it and you don't get to do it anymore because you sacrifice that part. Okay? That's what it is. It's control, power. Oh, I'm above you. You must be new. Fuck that. Fuck that. Okay? You let them do. We tout more personal freedom in AA than any other program I know. All right? In that sense, this society is a benign anarchy. The word anarchy has bad meaning to most of us, probably because it's one of those excitable adherents long ago through bombs around in Chicago. But I think that gentle Russian prince who so strongly advocated the idea felt if men were granted absolute liberty and were compelled to obey no one in person, they would then voluntarily associate themselves with a common interest. Alcoholics Anonymous is an association of benign sort the prince envisioned. I have no idea who this prince is. I don't know. All right. What is benign anarchy? Let's find out. I know what anarchy is, but benign anarchy, Alcoholics Anonymous in Ireland. That's one. What should you not say in AA? There are other ways to get sober. What? Okay, these are the AA taboos in AA. There are other ways to get sober. No, we say all the time in AA that I don't know who wrote this. Join Frame app. I'm going to probably be writing them. 2, I plan to go back to moderate drinking. Never heard it, but we're not going to stop you. I just want to cut back. These are things you're not supposed to say in AA meetings, and so far I haven't heard of one that you shouldn't. All right. I wanted the more items, but it's just taking me to reframe. All right. So it still hasn't told me what benign anarchy is. What is the definition of benign anarchy? It's just taking me to a fucking book. As applied to organization, describes decentralization, non-hierarchical structure, individual. Okay. So what it means is everybody is equal. That's what it means. All right. Now that we know, all right, but we do things. See, everybody's got a place in AA. Even the AA meeting that you think is shit, that I think is shit, has a place. Does. Whether I want it to or not. Oh, I got a very serious gray hair growing in here. All right. So anyway, this kind of association among us is wonderful, wonderful, and joyous. All right, let's redo that. All right, is wonderful and free and simple and joyous. You'll hear me say it all the time. Recovery is 2 things: free and simple. Always. Anything outside of that is business. Yeah. It's clinical. So far, so good. But we have found that this is not enough. When we had to go into action to function as groups, we found that we had to become a democracy. As the old timers retired, we began to elect our servants by majority vote. Each group, in this sense, became a town meeting democracy. So we also utilized democracy by voting people into positions. We vote on everything. If a decision is being made and it is going to affect the group, then a group conscience needs to be held. A vote needs to be taken. Okay? Now, this will vary. At grassroots, you do not need to claim grassroots as your home group in order to come to our group conscious and vote. No, we don't work that way. It is open because we want people to feel like they have a say so there. We want to hear new ideas. AA cannot be stuck in the past. The big book is not antiquated, but an AA meeting can become that. And that is what's great about grassroots. We are meeting people where they are at. If it's your first time coming into that group, you're going to be greeted probably by me because I usually open the room and I like to greet and say hi to people. Not always. It might be somebody else grabbing it that day. Nobody really volunteers for it. We just do it, which I think is cool. The guy I hadn't seen in there yesterday, I made him feel a part of because I asked him what the rest of his shirt said. It said we should join a cult. And then it was the Kool-Aid man under it. I thought it was pretty funny. So I told a joke. Makes people feel like they're more a part of. I do it on purpose. Because I want them to feel like they belong there. Because they do. All right. When we first put our world service into effect, Dr. Bob and I and our old-time friends were self-appointed guardians and custodians of the society. We took it upon ourselves to provide services. I do not mean it in any irreverent or exaggerated sense that when I say that our setup those days was sort of a double-headed papacy and a college of cardinals. Structurally, we had created a hierarchy of service. Even in the beginning, when Bill started 12 stepping, he was jumping down people's throats. All right. And Silkworth had to pull him aside. See, this is one of the things that Bill brought up. He's like, I made this mistake. Don't you do it too. It's written, but it says in the big book, do not come from a place of a higher standing or it will not work. Because Bill was told by Silkworth pretty much, you need to get off your soapbox. You need to stop preaching to these guys. That's not your job. Share your experience, strength, and hope. Stick with that and you'll do okay. And that's how we figured out 12 stepping. Dr. Silkworth taught us how to do it. A non alcoholic. Yeah. Restream chat is trying so messages can't be sent. What is going on with that lately? We don't need to look into that. Let's finish this up. All right. So, the grassroots meeting. It's just I started the meeting. It was my idea. I came up with the name. I came up with the concept. The concept in the 90s. That I just remember. I tried to remember everything that I could from the formats in the 90s. Okay. People are like, why is it called grassroots? You know what grassroots is? It means back to basics. It means back to a simple, straightforward format. It's a closed meeting. I have a feeling it's not going to be a closed meeting for much longer, though. I have a feeling the group might vote to make it an open meeting, which we should take a look at. We should be taking a look at, there have been people have brought up ideas to me, and I think they're great ideas. I'm like, okay, let's bring this up as a group conscious. Let's talk about these things. Half the time, people don't even know how to raise their virtual hand. So when we bring up virtual hand, we should play a quick little video that shows how you raise your virtual hand. Just real quick. Yeah. The host can do that while the person see, stuff like that. Yeah. That meeting is going to become an example for other online meetings. Okay. I love that they put together OIAA, and people are like, what's OIAA? Online International Alcoholics Anonymous. equals bombers. See, I can appreciate the fact that I can meet with people in across the world. I think it's great. I think it is cool. I've met a lot of friends that way, but I can't forget my community, and that's what's happening with Zoom meetings. We cannot forget our communities. We've still got to go out and work the communities. I'm doing it on the 28th, about 10 days, probably doing it alone. I haven't found anybody. They're going to make an announcement Saturday at the meeting, see if we can get anybody out, but nobody from grassroots. And it was short notice, and it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, between 3 and 6. I mean, that's prime time. I'm not even going to make it to my own do the meeting. So I don't blame anybody because it was really, I'm not upset. What I'm saying is it's going to get done whether it's just me or not. If I can't find anybody, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my wife to go, and maybe she can talk to other people about Al-Anon. See, if we have the way I see it is if we have AA there, Al-Anon should be at the same fucking table with us. That's a good idea, isn't it? They should be there with us. And Alateen, be all at one table. And the front of it would say, alcoholism, the family disease. Come ask us questions. I bet the person doing the Al-Anon will get more questions than the person running the AA. Because usually the people that are curious about helping are the ones that are affected by the alcoholic. So, all right, let's get back to this and the hierarchy of service. I love it when people are like GSRs, they think there's something. No. Our meeting needs a GSR. We're not even actually a meeting until we have a GSR, by the way. But I don't know of anybody in our group that's willing to go to the GSR meetings every week and come back and report. We're an online meeting. A lot of people are from out of town. The rest of us have things like anxiety and PTSD and stuff. So it's not always the easiest. They need to put those GSR meetings on Zoom. Most of the other ones are. So anyway, okay. But we have learned that such hierarchy cannot forever float alone. It must somehow be connected to the great sea of democracy all about it. The General Service Conference of Alcoholics Anonymous is now about to provide that permanent connection so much needed between our society and its trustees. But our conference will be more than a connection. It will represent the conscience of AA worldwide, to which our trustees will, in this very hour, become directly accountable. That's the thing. Accountability. Yeah. Are you going to be a GSR eventually? Who knows? I've been a GSR. I didn't like it. I like it. You go to the meetings, it's just a bunch of debating. It doesn't feel like anything gets done. I just, drives me nuts a little bit, actually. So it's a central office meeting, arguing over 25 cents for 2 months. When what we should be doing is bringing more people into the program, but they don't want to listen. They don't want to hear it. See, they don't want to do that part. They'd rather do that part. So that's why I'm doing it. I don't need anybody's permission to go talk to people about AA. I don't need to join a service board or anything else. I'm looking at becoming the CPC representative for my district, which is District 9. Amber, you are also in District 9, just so you know. Okay. And I reached out to the DCM, which is the District Central, whatever, my district guy, right? And I write him, and I'm like, I'd like to do CPC, and he writes me, he's like, oh yeah, call me back anytime. We'd love to have a CPC representative. We need one. So I left him a message. That was a week ago. I haven't heard from him. So when I don't hear, I figure, hey, then maybe it wasn't that important. Maybe it's not a priority. No big deal. Then I'll just go do it myself. or I just won't do it. I'll just go do something else. So, but we try, right? We try. One more paragraph and let's wrap up. In AA, there is active still another form of association, a form of which the world is today in great doubt. It has its virtues, nevertheless, especially for us among of us Alcoholics Anonymous. I am speaking of dictatorship. That, and if you have been commenting, Restream is having a hard time with the comments. I don't know why. So let me go pull it up on YouTube here. Make sure we don't. Okay, we haven't had any new comments, at least not on YouTube. But if you're trying to comment and it's not popping up, it is not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just having a hard time with it right now. So, okay. So dictatorship. When the grassroots meetings started, the first goal was to take it from Dion. That was the first goal. Okay. I don't even sign up to chair. I'm usually hosting, which honestly isn't that big of a deal. It doesn't take any effort for me to host. I'm logging on anyway. I'm used to it. Not only that, but the meeting doesn't get bombers. So I just sit back and enjoy the meeting and time a lot of times. I do timer, okay? But eventually somebody will show up that's going to be there every day. That's going to take over the timer. The whole point was to remove that Dion was doing everything and then spread, and it worked. Okay? Because otherwise, sorry, my nose is so itchy. Otherwise, if I'm doing everything, I'm writing the format. I put together the 7th tradition. I did everything. So but it shouldn't continue that way, right? So I wrote the format. Then we had a couple of group consciences, and it got changed. So I made the changes. We voted on stuff. We made changes. Put it back out. All right. It was just a basic structure, is all I put up. The other AA members came in. They did the electrical. They did the plumbing. They put up the drywall, painted. Then another group of people came in and put in the couches and the artwork. Another set of people went out and got the dishes that we need and the coffee pot. See how everybody has a place in all of this. All I did was create a structure. From there, it is a group decision. All right. I'm speaking of dictatorship. In AA, we have 2 dictators, and we profit and grow through both. One is John Barleycorn. One is John Barleycorn, who is never very far from the elbow of each of us. All right. John Barleycorn being alcohol. The other is the father of lights. Good afternoon, Michelle, who presides over all men. Yeah. So we do have a boss. It's a boss universal. We ask God for direction in the group conscious. We might debate a little bit. We might even argue a little bit. But the whole point is to figure out what is best for the newcomer. How can we reach more alcoholics? And as long as that is the goal, we'll be all right. And we let God guide us in doing that. God is saying to us, learn my will and do it. And John Barleycorn is saying to each of us, you had better do God's will or I will kill you. Wow. No wonder whoever gave me this book underlined that. It was a bright pink too. So God says, search and do my will. And John Barleycorn says, do my will. I'm going to kill you. Wow. All right. Let's get to today's reading, not tomorrow's reading. Michelle, you weren't here yet, but I put in yesterday's or tomorrow's tomorrow's topic today, but I'm still it's actually a fellowship of freedom. Tomorrow's AA regeneration, um, which we will probably do. So the fellowship of freedom, if only men were granted absolute liberty and were compelled to obey no one, they would then voluntarily associate themselves in a common interest, as Bill sees at page 50. When I no longer live under the dictates of another or of alcohol, I live in a new freedom. When I release the past and all the excess baggage I have carried for so very long, I come to know a new freedom. I have been introduced into a life and a fellowship of freedom. The steps are recommended. The steps are a recommended way of finding a new life. There are no commands or dictates in AA. And for very good reason. We have to be free to grow the way that we need to grow without anybody telling us what to do. We always suggest things. We do not mandate. Kind of talked about this in sponsorship yesterday. As a sponsor, I don't get to tell anybody what to do. It doesn't matter what situation I'm in. I don't get to tell others what to do. I might be able to present my needs, but I can't put an expectation on that. Okay? So these freedoms that we get, see, we're the only ones that are standing in the way of the sunlight of the Spirit. I'm the only person that gets the sunlight of the Spirit out of my life. Nobody else is capable of doing it. I am free to serve from desire rather than decree. In the beginning, service work, you're just like, it's begrudgingly, it's okay. Then you find out, oh, I actually kind of enjoy this. The feeling that I get when I'm done doing service work, it's a different feeling. That's why we encourage you. Otherwise, we'd be saying something like, you got to do it because you have no idea how you're going to feel after. We don't even say that. We will say it's an experience you must not miss. We know you're not going to want to miss it, but it's up to you. Can't tell anybody what to do. I don't even tell me what to do. I look for guidance. All right. So there's an understanding that I will benefit from the growth of other members, and I take what I learn and bring it back to the group. The common welfare finds rooms to grow in the society of personal freedom. Now, some of you who attend grassroots, this is your first time watching a group like this grow. Right? And what was the last thing that I kind of said there? Oh yeah, we're June 18th. The common welfare. Right? When a group grows together, that's when you can start moving mountains. Individually, you're not going to really be able to do that. You need the group. And when the group is set upon a primary purpose, on a common welfare, really cool shit happens. I've seen it happen. A lot of people are experiencing it in grassroots now. See, it's new. It's exciting. You're being a part of something that's actually growing. You're participating. You're doing service work. You see, and you're doing it as a group, and you see these same people now we even have running jokes in the group, and that is what's supposed to happen. And I'm glad that we had a chance for all of us to experience it together. But without each one of those people doing something, including me, it wouldn't be there. All right. Amber says the best way to eat SpaghettiOs is straight from the can. You must be eating SpaghettiOs straight from the can right now. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day. Have a day. Have a day.